What's going on, you guys? This is your boy RBG, aka The Random Black Gamer, bringing you a video on Kingdom Hearts 4. Yes, after getting that bombshell of a trailer back in Nintendo Direct, I thought I would just go ahead and give you guys my thoughts on this. Yeah, I'm actually talking about something other than Transformers, but I feel like I am going to be walking in murky waters today because even though I am hyped for the game, the trailer got me hyped, I will say that it still feels like a concept type of trailer that Tetsuya Nomura usually puts out before delivering the full vision that he has in store for us. Like, this trailer, while good, while showing new things, it still falls in that same realm of the original trailer that we got. Despite seeing some newer faces in this trailer, we're still in that same location, and we don't know if this aesthetic is going to be the default for the entire game or if it's a reflection of the world that they're currently in. Because if you play Kingdom Hearts, then you know that they're going to be doing a lot of world trotting, and anytime you enter a world, then you have to mirror the aesthetic, the overall design philosophy of that respective world. And I really think it would have been helpful for them to disclose that information, because something that I'm seeing over on X and other social media platforms is people complaining about the overall design for characters such as Sora, saying that this new design is nothing more than realistic slop that tries to evoke the Final Fantasy aesthetic, and that they wish that Kingdom Hearts would go back to the more anime look. They've even gone on to call it the quote-unquote declownification of Sora, where his oversized yellow clown shoes, which are a staple of the franchise meant to direct the homage to Mickey Mouse, were significantly downsized, and now his signature spiky hair has also been flattened to fit this metropolitan setting, which, if I'm not mistaken, is known as Quadratum, which is the stomping ground for the character of Yozora from the Verum Rex video game. And although its location was introduced in Kingdom Hearts 3 and Remind, it goes back a bit further than that, because it's actually the sole successor of Final Fantasy Versus 13, which was the original vision for Tetsuya Nomura's Fabula Nova Crystallis timeline before it was ultimately changed and rebranded as Final Fantasy 15. But you already know how Nomura likes to do. He doesn't like to waste anything, especially mythology, so most of that's going to be repurposed for Kingdom Hearts 4, with Yozora serving as the original version of Noctis, the true Night Sky Prince. And this basically goes back to what I said earlier on how, even though this is a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, it still feels like it's in that concept phase, because one of the biggest criticisms Tetsuya Nomura has always had is that he likes to focus on the action first. He's going to present that as the concept and then build a story around it. And we've essentially been seeing this concept for almost 20 years, dating all the way back to 2010 when Final Fantasy Versus 13 was first revealed. And while it does look cool, it would have been nice to have a little more context to know what's really going on here. I'm pretty sure people have questions on this guy. Could this be Volley from Kingdom Hearts Dark Road? Or could it be somebody that just looks like Volley? And what is Luxor doing here? What is he up to? Things like that, man. We just need a little bit more context. I know that this trailer was made for all intents and purposes to get people talking and get the conversation started, but yeah, a little context goes a long way, because I doubt people even know what a Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is, since it was nothing more than a side mobile game or something along those lines. And if my recollection served me correctly, I do remember Tetsuya Nomura confirming that Sora will indeed have his cartoonish design upon leaving Quadratum, but that was a while ago, man. He said that at least a few years ago, back when we got the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, and not that many people follow these things, so yeah, it's no wonder why so many people are assuming that this is going to be the basic default version for Sora, as opposed to it being a Quadratum aesthetic. But with all that aside, that's not the main thing that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, the game looks good and all, but there are some issues that I'm having, and that's in regards to the gameplay mechanics, the actual combat for Sora. Because when you look at it, it's clear that they're picking up where they left off with the combat from Kingdom Hearts 3. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how to feel about that, because I wasn't necessarily a fan of the gameplay of KH3. Like, I hate to sound like this boomer elitist, but back in the earlier days of KH, there was a low floor, high ceiling aspect to the combat where it felt incredibly easy for newcomers or younger players to pick up, yet it was still deep enough for veteran players to master intricate mechanics like keyblade swapping, form changes, and magic spamming. A lot of emphasis was put on timing and spacing. When you executed things like perfect parries and dodges and combos, you were rewarded for that. But that whole risk factor has become absent, and now it's all about getting these rewards for just pressing buttons over and over and over and over again. In exchange for for the strategic weight and grounded responsiveness and defensive challenges found in the earlier Kingdom Hearts games, we now have that KH3 floatiness to the max, where Sora's jump and attack animations feel loose and disconnected from gravity. And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, but when KH2 came out, it felt like this big evolution from the relatively clunky action RPG game that we got with KH1 to a masterclass of fluid and heavy combos, man. We're talking about a game that was overhauled, where Sora's moveset allowed players to weave together fast ground and aerial combos and magic and combo extenders, and the drive forms took it to another level, where you could transform Sora mid-battle and have his movement speed, attack style, and combos radically altered. But now it feels like Sora is just in drive form mode all the time, where he's moving so crazily and expressively to the part to where you don't even feel like you have to do much at all. Everything just feels very automated. Like, I appreciate a cool power trip, and I feel like the forms do give you that, but they are done in limited spurts. You only have so much time to do these invincible moves, but just basic Sora doing all these things doesn't really feel right to me. I understand that there's a natural progression with this guy and that he's gotten so much better than how he was in Kingdom Hearts 1, and he's kind of on the level of a Keyblade master, but still, it doesn't quite translate well to the actual gameplay. It just feels like you're in cruise control the entire time and there's no complexity to it. And like I said, I'm not trying to come off as this boomer elitist who's telling you that you shouldn't like the KH3 combat, because I feel like there is a lot to like about it. I think the tightness and responsiveness of it is great. I also feel like the presentation, the overall visual flair that it evokes is also awesome. Like, I enjoyed how KH3 basically synthesized all the different mechanics from the previous games into one, like the flow motion from Dream Drop Distance, the shot locks from Birth by Sleep, and all the drive forms. I also felt like the Keyblade transformations was a welcomed addition, where you could swap between different Keyblades on the fly during combat, and each Keyblade featured unique transformations that drastically altered your combos and things of that nature, as opposed to sacrificing one of your support characters to achieve those attributes. Those are all welcome features that I don't mind sticking around, but I do feel like the developers really need to go back to the basics. Go back to those KH2 days, where the combat was tighter and weightier. The last time we even had a sequel or spin-off that felt anything close to KH2 was Birth by Sleep, but we haven't come close to that level of greatness ever since. But I think we can though, because one of the things that I felt like was a good pivot for Square Enix to make in regards to KH3's combat was the Remind DLC that introduced things like this combat system where you could essentially modify it to your liking. For example, if you were in that camp that felt like the animations were too long for the combos, then the new combo modifier allowed you to essentially cancel out animations and block mid-air, and if I'm not mistaken, you could even weave some of the more stylish combos together. And the Organization 13 data boss fights made it feel like you were playing a completely different game that was way more challenging and rewarding compared to the original vanilla version of the game. And if they're going to be applying KH3's combat to Kingdom Hearts 4, then they need to come in with that similar approach that they did with KH3 Remind. Give us that perfect balance of aerial and ground combat that allows for high flying mobility that feels weighty and precise, and it keeps us engaged. And bring back those combo modifiers that expand the aerial dodge mechanics and situational command tools that require skill rather than simple button mashing. Like, it's alright to have spectacle, but let's not prioritize it over actual practicality and skill level. Because even though Kingdom Hearts is targeted towards a kid audience, there are also people that grew up playing it and that are now adults, and they want to have something that's just as challenging as it was back in the day with Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. Let's try to accommodate both demographics here. But with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the video here. I just want to make it a point to say that I am not trying to hate on this game. I feel like it has a lot of great things to offer. I think it looks so visually stunning, and the gameplay, it looks promising, but it just needs a little more polish, and we need to get away from that floaty style that has just been aggravating a lot of the more veteran players of the game. Overall, I'm very happy that we actually have KH4. It's finally in development, and we could be seeing some more awesome updates where Tetsuya Nomura actually gives us more details going into the story, as well as some of the worlds that we could be seeing. Like, I'm really interested in seeing how far Square Enix will go into some of the more live action worlds of Disney. Will we be seeing the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a KH game? And is there a possibility that we could could see our gummy ship actually flying around in the Star Wars universe. Those are things that we want to know about, man. But what are your thoughts, guys? How do you feel about the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer? Do you feel like it's a step in the right direction? And how do you feel about the KH3 combat? Do you think it's too floaty, or do you feel like it's just right? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. But if you really enjoyed this video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on all the social media outlets. Sharing is caring, but this has been your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
You've been put to the test, but